Guys and gals, and welcome. welcome. So today, I'm going to try and make a Withering Fist build. I've been thinking about a Withering Fist build for a long time, and I want to see if I can make it work. So we're going to dive into that today and see if we can make that functional. As always... What's up, Leon?
What was
You the only one in here today?
Yeah. You
Just
see
little
how
old Leon.
Aspect got up to?
Hmm?
Did you see how the flat damage number I got that aspect up to?
Oh, yeah. It looks good.
It was interesting because I was thinking about other ways. I thought about like 3 or 4 different ways to build the feathers and everything. And that way, I was thinking about beefing those aspects as high as they can by using unyielding hits and adding flat weapon damage, because those aspects scale with weapon damage, and that's why it went that high, which is insane to me. 24,615 flat.
Well,
Like
they're based off your weapon damage to start, right? And then all the
yeah,
potency is enhancing the weapon damage.
that too. But then unyielding hits enhances the weapon damage as well, and then the potency is enhancing off that weapon damage. Like it's a higher weapon damage.
I mean, I said it at the beginning. I really think that there's a lot that can be done with like the Spirit Hall potency stuff, and you're kind of like delving into. Well, it's not really the Spirit Hall, but it is the Spirit Hall because you're using the Spirit Hall too with the Storm Feathers because it's part of the whole Storm Feather package, right?
Yeah.
And then like the Storm Feathers seem to be based off your weapon damage, but then there's like the Spirit Hall potency, and then there's the Storm Feather potency, and it's all enhancing that Storm Feathers. The Storm Feathers are really good damage, like AoE and single target too.
Yeah, they're great.
Dude, the single target is insane. Like, have you noticed like when you get like all the feathers spread out all over the battlefield, and then you stand on top of a monster, and then you summon them all back to you, you get like 40 hits. Like they all just like
Yeah,
because they're all coming back to you, and as long as you're on top of the monster, they all hit the monster.
I didn't even realize it to now, and I think the vortex as the rune actually activates the recall as well.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it looks like it. I got to test it in the training room to be certain. I was in HellTide and it looked like it was doing it, and I was like, "That's interesting."
That does sound very interesting, actually. All right, so I want to try this Withering Fist. I'm not sure if it's going to work. This is the Sepazon tech I managed to secure last night for 2 billion. I think it was a pretty good steal.
398, yeah. I have one similar, but I don't have the third. I have the follow through and I have the basic.
Well, I was looking for mainly the follow through and the double damage. That was my main wants.
Yeah.
But then I saw follow through, double damage, and Dex with a 98, and I was like, that seems. I mean, it's 2% off perfect on the unique effect, but still, it's like just the right greater affixes. So I'm gonna build around that. Withering Fist is an odd one. I've been thinking about doing a Withering Fist build since like the very beginning, and I never really like committed to it, but it is very interesting.
It's like 3 exploding circles, right? Like poison like circles.
Well, it's a very fast like hit. Like I was playing around with it in the training room, and it does hit like multiple times or something. I don't know what the hell it's doing. It's like and then like obviously then there's the circle that comes out, and then with the triple the circle turns into a line. It's a line of circles, which I don't really know how to like. But like as an example, I mean this is just my current character without even changing anything. It's so freaking fast. I think it might be one of the fastest abilities. Like comparatively to like some of the others, like if I just like pull some points here. Just pull some points. Like if you compare them between the 3. And I just take like all 3 and put them on the bar here. Rock Splitter seems to be the slowest, although it's still pretty fast. Thunder Spike is okay, but like I never really, I didn't like the way the Thunder Spike attacked. I don't know what it is, and
I agree. I don't like the way it feels.
I don't like
I
the
think
way it
it's
feels.
designed for the evade builds.
And then Thrash is interesting, but there's a whole component of Thrash which I can't quite explain. It's this attack, whatever this is. That's that thing that's separate
Yeah,
from
I
everything
love
else. It's not part of the basic skill though. It's like something else. It's like an extra in addition to the basic skill or something.
it. Like an AoE or something. Like
Yeah, that like triggers on afterward. I'm not really sure.
it's like a proc or something.
Yeah. But it is fast. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fast. But Withering Fist is also very fast. I mean, just look at it. What attack speed am I sitting at right now? Because that just seems ridiculous.
Do you have rapid on or no?
I'm currently working at 110%, so that's only 110%. Yeah, that's only 110%. I don't even know if that gets faster. It might.
Oh, you can just throw on rapid real quick if you don't have it. That's a lot of attack speed. And I think that's in the secondary pool.
Yeah, let me go test that real quick.
People play D4. That's what the guy says.
People play D4? Yeah, of course we do. It's fun.
Need more time.
I like how people doubt me. Like I'm literally like considered one of the gurus of Diablo 2. I've played Diablo 2 for more hours than probably any man should in his life, and that's not even a boast. That's actually like a negative against me because like I've wasted the majority of my life playing Diablo 2, and and as a person who loves Diablo 2, I literally dive into Diablo 4 with the same zeal, which means that you should just trust me. That's literally what you should do. Like if I like both of these games with equal zealousness, you should just trust me and stop relying on your own insignificant knowledge. And that might sound like the most ridiculously like cocky statement in the world, but it's true. Okay? I know more about these games than you guys do, and I love both of them. So let that sink in. Gotta throw that little childish tongue raspberry in the end. That's right. Basic skills.
Need more time.
Let's put some basic skills attack speed in there, see how fast we can really get Withering Fist up to.
I've been saving a ton of caches
Not
for
ready.
my druid. Saving them up.
Holy Jesus.
What'd you add on rapid?
Yeah, it doesn't show on the panel, of course, but you can tell. Like you can really tell.
You feel the frames. Well, you're probably main pull cap just with you're wearing Andes, just Andes and Starlets probably, right? Do you have a core skill in your bar to spend resource?
Dark Soul said Moonrise is better. So let's educate Dark Soul real quick and let's give him some knowledge. We need to get you some knowledge, Dark Soul. You need some knowledge to get more knowledge. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to hit the 200% increased attack speed cap. Alright, so the 200% attack speed cap is split up into two separate pools. Alright, and I'm going to drop this heavy knowledge on your head so you actually know what the hell's going on here. Alright, in pool number 1, you can get up to 100% attack speed in pool 1. Alright, in pool 2, you can also get up to 100% attack speed in pool 2. And this means that your total attack speed that you can potentially get is 200%. Moonrise, which is amazing, is unfortunately in pool 1. This means that if you already are capped on all the other attack speed bonuses that you can potentially get, you're not going to get any benefit from Moonrise whatsoever. So, in other words, just think about it like this. If I'm already at 100% increased attack speed for pool 1, and Moonrise adds, what is it, like 20 or 30% increased attack speed? I can't remember. That means that I'm still at 100%. So I have gained nothing from Moonrise. So you have to take this into account when you're doing things. So what we're talking about is Rapid. And if you look on the chart here, Rapid is in pool 2. All right. So that means that if you're already at 100% increased attack speed and you have Rapid, which gives you a nice increase to attack speed of, what is it, like 30 to 60%, depending on whether you put it on a two-handed weapon or not. That 30 or 60% is going to go into the second pool, which means that if you already have 100% in that pool, in pool 1, and you add 60% from the second pool, you end up with 160% increased attack speed. So the whole weird thing about Diablo 2 is they have 2 different attack speed pools, and you have to take that into account when you're deciding your equipment. Moonrise is probably going into the build no matter what, because Moonrise is, of course, a huge basic skill damage bonus, which I'm going to be utilizing for this build. However, you do have to take into account Moonrise being in pool number 1, which exists with regular attack speed gear affixes, and things like Andariel's Visage, Ring of the Starless Skies. Like, all of these things are in pool number 1. These things over here are in pool number 2, and the pool number 2 becomes far more important because most of the time pool number 1 is always capped out. Pool number 2 is the one that you actually have to work at to get capped out. We need to design this character real quick. Hold on, let me go design it. Let me go build it real quick on the build planner. Let's go put our boy together. I'm trying to think how I want to go with this. I was thinking, obviously most of the basic skill damage bonuses, you know, it makes sense. I was also thinking I could perhaps go with the Pestilence Swarm multiplier. There is that aspect. It's the one that's like a % chance or lucky hit chance to just like spawn them. And with the insane amount of attack speed that I have, if I'm at least utilizing it's infestation, so centipede skills have up to a 35% chance to spawn a pestilent swarm from the target, which deals at least 1 poison damage per hit. Pestilent swarms now deal 100% of their base damage as poison damage. So like, if I went with that, I feel like that would be an interesting option for how fast I'm attacking, just spawning tons of pestilent swarms. It works on any centipede skill, and Withering Fist is, of course, a centipede skill. So, I mean, that's an option.
Yeah, I played around with a lot of the different poisoning, like, glyphs and aspects, and they all work.
Well, I was thinking about it mainly from a multiplier, like, standpoint. So, like, I include infestation. Not sure if I have infestation on right now. I do. Okay, so I'm currently running a perfect infestation on my gloves, right? So like, let's just attack for a little bit here, right? So we'll hit our Scourge. We'll just slap off as many as we can here. It looks like I'm getting 1 to 2. The unfortunate side effect is that they just go straight. I'm watching them just go straight. And they don't last very long either. And that's one of the...
Wear the ring.
Well, the one that makes them spin around me.
Probably, if you want the most out of them. Like, hit multiple times or whatever.
Which one is, which ring is that? Because I know I have it.
I forget, dude, there's so many.
Ring of Writhing Moon, that's it. Pestilent Swarm spawns around you every 10 seconds, dealing 423 damage. Pestilent Swarms now orbit you and generate 1 vigor per hit. So here, let me put this on for a second. I feel like the problem with the Pestilent Swarm, like, build, no matter how you look at it, and like, one of the big issues with it is that without the Stinger one, they don't last long enough. so it's very hard to stack them. And I think that's the biggest problem, is that you just can't, you can't stack them without the Stinger one. The Stinger one turns them, and gives them 100% duration. The Infestation one makes it so that they're poisoning damage instead of regular damage. I mean, I could also include the Rune Word as well, which would give me another additional multiplier and spawn more of them.
You're probably better off just going with like the Mystic Circle thing, Jaguar Mystic Circle, with your Centipede Mystic Circle potency, like I did. For
Yeah,
more damage.
yeah. I think the problem with these in general, the stupid Pestilent Swarm things, is that they're nice, but it feels like you need like all of them to really get the best benefit out of them.
Yeah.
The only other thing is,
What are you using for resource spending?
I mean, I don't have anything at the moment. I mean, I could always incorporate payback into the mix with the to burn all the resource every single time.
I don't know if that Starless works by the number of stacks. I don't think payback's what you would want.
What do you mean?
I don't think you can press like payback one time and have all 5 stacks of Starless. I think Starless you have to press payback 5 times.
Oh no, you don't have to press the button. Here, let me show you. Like, it doesn't
Oh,
even.
you use the aspect. Right?
Yeah, you just use that aspect, and then once you use that aspect,
Oh,
it just
that's smooth then. That would be good gameplay.
like, let me see if I can.
Do you even need it on your bar?
No, you don't even. The crazy thing is not only do you not even need it on your bar, but you don't even need points in it. But if you want it to consume your resource, you have to get the one that turns it into the core skill and burns resource. But like, then once you have that set up, so like if I have the aspect on my gloves, and then I don't even have it on my bar, but as long as I have that set up, as I'm firing off the Withering Fists, it will 100% burn. Like, you'll see my resource just deplete. You want to see it? Like, it's just gone, like, all the time. It's actually kind of crazy how easily it just burns all my resource constantly.
But it's not giving you the stacks of Starless Skies.
It's not triggering the stacks?
I don't see the icon.
Let's try putting it on the bar and see if it works with it on the bar. So here, I'll put it in right click. So no. Okay, so I wasn't even sure if Starless was going to make it into the build, to be honest, but...
Yeah, I was just trying to think about it because you were wearing it. And it gives good stats. It gives great stats.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was wearing it from the previous build, that's all. Like, nothing too fancy there. I was just playing around with it I've done a couple builds with Poison, and like, I've been playing around with all the stuff, kind of trying to see what I like the best. And they're not all amazing. I don't know. I would like to see how fast I could potentially spawn the Pestilent Swarms, though, from the, I don't know what rune I would
Frosty
use.
stacks are you at? Or do you have? Because that gives you the ton of a second pull attack speed as well. You probably easily could reach max attack speed.
Oh, Ferocity? What was Ferocity in? I don't even remember which pool it's in.
It's in pull 2.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really strong.
It doesn't show up on your attack speed bonus, then?
I don't know if it shows up on the stat sheet, but it's in pull 2.
Hmm.
And it's 5% per stack.
I was trying to think whether or not... Like, I don't really think that one rune is really worth it. I talked about it many times, but maybe with a 200% attack speed build, it might be okay. The one that generates resource based on attacking 3 times with the same skill. But like, I don't... Let's go test it real quick, just for lulz.
Yeah, I can go look at my Thrash character, because I remember having an issue with which offering, and then I settled on one that was pretty good.
I mean, for such a basic skill like Pestilence Swarm, it seems to be triggering an awful lot. I also had another idea, and it was a really simple idea. It was that, so Pestilence Swarms don't last very long, right? So follow my logic. They don't last very long, and maintaining a steady amount of them isn't necessarily viable. But I was thinking that because of such the low cost of them, which is only 100, that I could potentially set up a situation where I'm getting large amounts of damage by using one of the runes that generates a large number of them all at once in like a burst instead. So you kind of see what I'm talking about. Like I would pop like Theo rune, have like 10 of them spawn. Then I have 10 times 2, which is like a 20 times multiplier, and it would happen like once every 10 seconds, as long as I'm not like constantly unstoppable, which hopefully that won't be the case with this build. But like then I would have like a 20 times multiplier spawning at random that would affect my damage output. And even though they would only last, I don't know how long the Pestilence Swarms actually last. It's like 3 seconds or something. I don't know. I don't even know.
It has a cooldown of 10 seconds. I was just looking at that. I was like, I'm surprised no one has built a build where you constantly get injured. Like you heal, then injured, heal, injured. But it's because it has a 10-second cooldown.
It's actually pretty good though. Like I mean, it's because of the overflow system and the way that it works. You can just like pour the offering into something and you get like a massive effect with it, which is kind of what I'm talking about. Is it gives me a pestilent swarm, which then lasts for, like 3 or 4 seconds, and then for those 3 or 4 seconds, I've got a 20 times multi. I mean, it's not exactly a bad idea to include pestilent swarm into the build, because Pestilent Swarm also gives you the multiplier for poison damage. I don't know. It's maybe it's not the right direction, but I just wanted to explore it as an option. Let's go take a look at it real quick, just for fun, just for lulz. So let's put the Theo rune in here. And I can program the thing to smack me around so I can get my my bonus. So, physical. And we say for just that like brief period of time, like when I got injured, like you saw, I had like 10 pestilent swarms around me for that time period. It got up to 8. It looked like they were spawning in sequence, so they don't spawn all together. But that's still at least a 16 times multiplier that's going to happen every time I get crowd controlled or slowed down. So I mean, it could be an interesting way to approach it. Maybe not even utilizing any of the aspects. I don't know. Just working it from the aspect of just getting the multiplier for free. 20% multiplier for free every time I get crowd controlled or injured doesn't seem terrible. I don't know if I really want to use Ring of Writhing Moon in the build, though. I don't think it's a good ring. I mean, it does have one positive aspect, which is the lucky hit up to a 43.8% chance to make enemies vulnerable. So it does have a lucky hit vulnerable on it, which means I wouldn't need to have vulnerable anywhere else. I don't know. I was thinking maybe going Toxic Fist for this as well. But then that leads me down the critical strike damage bonus multipliers. I don't know whether I want to do that or not. How does a Thorns Poison combo look with this build? Just tuned in, but I was thinking of converting to Withering Fist, but I want to run Thorns as well. Thorns is complicated. I did a whole bunch of testing on Thorns, and I came to some interesting results. You might want to screenshot this maybe and like use that for your Thorns build. I don't think it's impossible for you to use Withering Fist or like a Thorns build with poison. But there are some limitations that you'll have to take into account. Alright. Alright, so let's go back to this build sheet. So anyway, first off, without hesitation, we throw Sebazontak into the mix. So Sebazontak is undoubtedly going to be included. I was trying to like decide whether or not I wanted to go. I kind of feel like with the speed that I'm attacking, the Jaguar Primary Spirit Hall might be a really good choice. But then at the same time, I don't know if poison damage actually works with Jaguar Primary Spirit Hall. However, I was also thinking that if I go Jaguar Primary Spirit Hall and I utilize the Toxic Fist, I'm pretty sure that the Toxic Fist explosions will feed into the Jaguar Primary Spirit Hall, though, won't they? So I'll end up with,
Yeah.
like, one way or another, I could utilize the Jaguar Primary Spirit if I wanted. I mean, Ferocity stacking is totally something that could be an option. I mean, I feel like if I go that direction, I'm probably going to do Eagle Secondary Spirit. That way I don't have to worry about critical strike chance. That'll just, like, bump me up critical strike chance and give me Eagle. I mean, that would be the Ebiwaka direction, which is a direction getting multiple multipliers. I mean, if I go this direction, if I go Ebiwaka, I could also use Shroud of False Death, which is super powerful. But every unique item I put in these slots is going to take away from any resolve stacks or anything I can get, so kind of wish the resolve stacking wasn't really a thing.
You don't even need to go beyond like 15 resolve stacks. 15, 20 is the max you really need. Anything beyond that is just overkill.
I mean, an interesting idea. Yeah, but that doesn't really, like, help me out very much, though. I think Ebiwaka is probably the way to go with this build. Okay, so assuming we go Ebiwaka and Sebazontak, we've got a solid base here. Our main amulet aspect is probably going to be either, I would say either Mystic Circle Jaguar or maybe the attack speed one. I don't know which one would be really better for us. I feel like the Jaguar one is the easiest to prop up. I think Withering Fist is like primarily poisoning. Yeah, it's very similar to Flay in a way, because it's 5% physical damage or poison damage, and then it's 30% poisoning damage. So it's actually like mainly poisoning. The third attack also has a slow built in of 30%. 30% for 3 seconds. So that's interesting as well. What are the two endings are the damage reduction or the one that poisons all nearby enemies, right? There's so much free vigor that I'm gonna have, and like I feel like I should probably have some way of spending the vigor. Because otherwise there's just no point in having like infinite vigor that I can do whatever I want with. I mean, not only does obviously a basic skill build have pretty much like infinite vigor, but there's also the enhanced Withering Fist, which is you gain 1 vigor per second for every nearby enemy poisoned with Withering Fist. Up to 10, which means I'm going to be getting 10 vigor per second while using this ability. Like there's no way I won't. So I'll just have a constant 10 vigor per second coming in addition to obviously using the ability. So like having a dump ability might not necessarily be a terrible idea. I was thinking maybe Touch of Death because it has such a high vigor cost.
Yeah, it has the highest, which is a beautiful thing in a way.
Like, it'll just burn all my resource real quick, and then I just go back to what I was doing. Here, so let's reset this real quick, and let's get an idea of what we'd want to play around with. So obviously we 5 points into Withering Fist, because that's our main ability. We could go with enemies poisoned by Withering Fist, deal 20% less damage. Or we can go with the one where it poisons any monster that's unaffected. It says, Withering Fist's third attack spreads its poisoning to 3 nearby unaffected enemies. Hitting a vulnerable enemy will also spread that effect to all hit. So it seems like that is the one for damage output, because not only does that help us by poisoning multiple targets, but it also helps us by poisoning any monster that's nearby, as long as one vulnerable enemy has been hit. So what it sounds like to me is that if I hit any vulnerable enemy, any other enemy nearby is immediately poisoned with the Withering Fist. So it just acts as a way to allow Withering Fist to apply massive amounts of AoE damage. So we 5 point that. Obviously we 3 point follow through, because that's, now we're at 9 ranks in follow through, so that's amazing. I mean, I feel like for this build, we're probably going for blocking, especially if we're going for Toxic Fist or Noxious Resonance, because Noxious Resonance is critical strike damage, so that's just kind of the direction we're going. We probably also want to grab Apex, and honestly, Unrestrained Power is super easy to keep up, so that one's also important. We don't really need Ravager. I mean, Ravager does give us a passive minimum ferocity of 2. But if we utilize, say, like the Hunter, we can just simply overstack our ferocity all the time. I don't know. There's a couple different ways we could get ferocity. Probably put 3 in Perseverance. At least, actually, I'm trying to think if we even need to grab 1 in Patient Guard if we're going to use Shroud of False Death, now that I think about it. Because if we use Shroud of False Death in the build, we're going to get 1 point, and a lot of those ones that we like want 1 point in, like the one that generates barrier, like if you're just happen to be near, standing still for a couple seconds, you just get free barrier generation.
Yeah, that one's pretty good to start your barrier off.
I mean, I was also thinking using that like absolutely ridiculous temerity. I do have this like absolutely killer temerity that is let me link it. It's not 100%er, but it's close. And it has all the right stats in all the right places. Where did I put you at? Yeah. Oh, that's not it. Where's the really good one? Temerity. Yeah, here it is. That temerity. Greater affix on the life, greater affix on the damage reduction while healthy. Also has the 91% on the barrier. They're pretty dang good temerities. Unfortunately, that also means we're losing more resolve stacks. I don't know. I mean, if I don't use Shroud of False Death, then I could just simply take them that way and just use the other. I went down this road already, and basically what I determined is using the Soul Brand Temerity combo is like you're basically unkillable. But then at the same time, like you also can't really kill anything because you don't have enough multipliers. And you missed out on like 2 of your aspects that you could potentially use.
A nice combo, but I think on Spiritborn they don't have issues with survivability because they have damage reduction through blocking, damage reduction through resolve stacks in general. That you can increase the damage reduction you get from both if you want to. Just like built-in DR, they have a ton of dodge on top of it.
Wow. 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 Let's throw you in there. Let's put you back in here. So if we use Ebiwaka, we don't get Andariels. If we use Andariels, we don't get Ebiwaka. So it's rough. I do feel like Withering Fist. I feel like Wither Fist can hang on its own, but you know, Andariels does have a huge amount of attack speed and healing and other things.
Well, what key passes are you going with?
I don't know. I was thinking Withering, the Noxious Resonance. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, so you're going for the explosions of your poison damage. You can't go wrong either way because Andy's going to put more poison, which can be bigger explosions as well.
Yeah. Andes or Ebiwaka?
Well, you don't really need the second Spirit Hall to be like tagged. You don't need the skill tag.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need the skill tag. The only thing I need is the Jaguar main. I think that's pretty much it. That puts me in the ballpark of what I'm trying to achieve.
Wow, those are beautiful raid clubs. The heck?
I mean, Andariel's also pretty much solves entirely like the pool 1 category attack speed. It's like, oh, here, have like all your pool 1.
It's beautiful for that, yeah.
Pool 1. So much pool 1. All of the pool 1. We're probably going with adaptability because it's 100% times multiplier. I think I got an 80. It's unfortunate. And then Moonrise, I think, is a no-brainer as well. I don't know if you put Moonrise on the... I think... actually, I don't know. I really don't. Whether you put Moonrise on the amulet or you put Mystic... The Plains Power on the amulet. I feel like the Plains Power is a more generic multiplier. I mean, they're both good. Probably end up going with Duelist Boots. Which leaves a whole 1 ring slot open.
Check those gloves out. Apparently, you get gloves like that all the time in Undercity if you just pick the skill, like 5 million skill one with the legendary guaranteed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's like giving gloves like that all the time.
Those are crazy. Can't you only pick that if you're doing like a legendary or higher?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So if you have a legendary and you pick the 5 million one for skill rings, you pretty much get like greater affix gloves a large percentage of the time. Like you can get Quill Volley, which will go for a ton of gold, obviously.
Well, I mean,
Not
what
ready.
pant aspects are there anyway? Like pant and armor, just as like a guess.
I've been
And
exploring.
and aspect, there's a ton because it's utility or defense.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like looking and seeing.
I mean, that's where your soil power could go if you're going
Yeah.
Mystic Circle.
Mm-hmm.
My poison character has all perfect aspects now, except for Plains power. I have a perfect touch of death, I have a perfect creeping death, and I have a perfect soil. It's a beautiful character now.
Soil.
I'm still not sure whether creeping death is better than accelerating though. So max attack speed is pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and I only got one more offensive aspect, so I was to try and cap out the pool too. I feel like you kind of have to go with rapid. Like that's where you're lying, which means creeping death gets kind of like left in the dust. I mean, how much does creeping death actually give me for most monsters anyway?
On bosses, you're going to get 40% if you put on like a regular item. On a regular monster, it depends how many crowd controls you're inflicting. I assume you're doing slow and fear.
Well, it's 20% times per, and then you get. I'll probably end up using Scourge. Yeah. So like 2, maybe 3. So 40 or like a 60% multiplier for most monsters.
Yeah. But it's really, the monsters aren't going to live long, I don't think. I think it's going to be the bosses. And that's really where it matters.
Well, the problem with the bosses is you don't get the 40 times multiplier
Right. Exactly.
unless they're staggered.
Yes. That's why it's good, but I also think just max attack speed is better because you're triggering more Endarians. You're putting more poison on the target. Like I've done both, and they're both strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think rapid comes in here and it just kind of eats it away. The only one that I'm not entirely sure about is adaptability. Adaptability does give a nice basic multiplier, but
It's not going to multiply Andes.
yeah,
If
it's
you want
not.
to get the most out of Andes, that's not the right choice.
Mm,
It really depends where your
mm,
focus is
mm,
going.
mm,
Are you
mm,
building
mm.
generic or are you building specific? Is where it comes down to.
Well, you want the most out of Withering Fist, and you want to speed up Withering Fist as much as possible. I'm actually kind of curious whether or not. Um, I mean, I do have a dump ability, and I could potentially because doesn't the bonus from accelerating also apply to basic skills?
Accelerating does, yes. It's just pull to general attack speed. You just have to crit with a core skill.
Which shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be. So, assuming that we have, let's see, the 25% from accelerating, the rapid doesn't show up, but it's 30%, so that's 30, 40, 55, so that's 55%. Let's do like a,
How many ferocity stacks do you have?
let's do a quick check. Attack speed. Alright, pool 1. We've got Andes, which is currently 61.5%, which takes up the majority of that. Then we also, what are we sitting at without Andes? 25%? Where's that 25% coming from? I don't know where the 25% is coming from. We've got 15% on gloves, and then I don't see where the base 10% is coming from at all. Let's try taking off every piece of equipment. And we're naked. and we still have a base 10%. So where are
Well,
we?
you could,
So
because
where's?
your weapon.
Well, I took the
You have a
weapon off.
It should be a 1.1 on the weapon. Should be giving you,
But I took the weapon off.
and it still says 10%.
Yeah. I mean, I could try putting on one of the slower weapons. Here's a Washe knockpaw. Still 10%. Take the knockpaw off. Still 10%.
Your
I've got.
weapon speed is still 1.1. Oh,
So I gotta. Yeah, it's still 10% no matter what. Maybe it's coming from my Paragon tree. Is there attack speed in the Paragon tree? There probably is. That's probably where it's coming from. Maybe
yeah,
on the
there's plenty in
board.
there. Yeah, there's
It's
a lot in
probably
there.
on the board. Yeah, there's at least like 10% that can be obtained through the board. Okay. So that means we're like starting with in pool 1 we've already got what 71.5% like easily. So like plus 10 and then we can have like 15% on the gloves or whatever. I'm not even sure that's what we need. But that brings us up to, what is that, 61, 71, 81, 86. That's like 86%. Is Shaco and Starless any good for Spiritborn? Yeah, it's really good for Spiritborn. Depends on what you're trying to achieve.
Both are amazing, yeah.
Are you sure Ferocity's in the other stack system? Because I swear, like, every time I check it, it doesn't seem like it's in the other stack system.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Because, like, if I put on Andy's, throw those gloves back on, I'm sitting at 86.5.
Need more time.
And what I can do is I can just go ahead and, like, use, like, the ultimate or something. That'll pull me back up. That'll pull me up to the top. When I attack, I immediately go up to over 100% attack speed, too. Because that's 2 ferocity stacks. Comes from, like, the minimum that's with Ravager. Alright, so 141. So yeah, it's definitely in the other pool. Because that's way higher than...
Yeah.
Than was it like the 20% that was to the next pool?
That's the main thing I've been using to reach max attack speed on a lot of my builds, like my Thrash build and my Poison build. I've been using the Ferocity stacks to make sure I get that pull 2 filled out.
Okay, so if that's the case, then so pool 2. We've got, what am I going to be at ferocity was? I'm probably going to be using Jaguar main, and I think, was thinking Eagle secondary for the critical strike chance. That way I wouldn't have to stack as much critical strike chance on the gear, and I could go for critical strike damage instead. So for the Noxious Resonance procs.
You can absolutely do it, or you can add in another stack of Ferocity if you need it from the Jaguar one, or you can add in 2 stacks of Resolve if you need it.
Alright, so pool 1, assuming that we have like the basic stuff, which is 4 base plus 4 on duelists, because I don't have good duelists. All my duelists are always like bad duelists, unfortunately. I still haven't gotten a perfect recipe, but that's still 8. And then I don't know where I would get the other ones unless I choose the secondary Spirit Hall. But if I'm using the ultimate, I can get another 4. Which, at least during the ultimate, I'll be at a total of, what is that, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? So 12. Times, what is it? Is it 2.5% per stack?
Oh, 5%. 5% attack speed per stack.
Look at the tooltip. Yeah, it's 5% per stack. Okay, so 5% per stack. 12 times 5, that's a 60%. So that's 60% in pool number 2. Not always going to be 60% though, because the overfill isn't going to always happen. So most of the times it's only going to be 4 plus 4, which is 8 times 5. 8 times 5 is what, 40?
Yep.
So 40% increased attack speed. Let's delete all this. So let's only rely on the 40%. So we get 40% from that. We're also getting the rapid aspect itself is going to apply. Was it third? I don't even know what mine
35
is
too,
actually.
too.
What is
Yeah,
mine?
depends.
It's 45 on an amulet. It's so beautiful.
Not ready yet.
I took off my boots and now I run super slowly everywhere. This is amazing. Put my boots back on.
Need more time.
I was trying to see what mine is. So yeah, I'm currently at the minimum, or the maximum for the normal items, which is 30. So that's 40, 50, 60, 70. So we're at 70%. What else are we getting from pool 2? Pool 2 is accelerating, basic skill gear. Of course, this is the barbarian one. I need the one that's for the Spiritborn. I think if I remember correctly, the Spiritborn one just doesn't really have a lot in pool 2.
The one key passive, but that's only for Jaguar skills.
Alright. Adaptive stances, which is not the direction that we're going. So apparently the bonus that you get from adaptive stances, yeah, that's what you're talking about. Infighter apparently is in pool 2. Okay.
Okay.
So Infighter is the Paragon board. That's the one that's like every time you block, you gain an attack speed bonus or something like that.
Yes, the key passive, or not key passive.
Yeah, when you dodge or block an attack, you gain 2% increased attack speed and 1% increased damage for 5 seconds, stacking up to 9 times. So that's 2 times 9, which is what, 18? So that's an 18% increase to attack speed that's going to be in pool number 2. I mean, that pretty much finishes it off right there. Because 70 plus 18 is already, what, 80, 88? And that's not even assuming the overfill. So from the overfill portion of the ferocity coming from the ultimate, if we go that direction, we get 4 extra stacks, which brings us up another 20%, which overcaps us past 80%. So we don't even need accelerating. Accelerating isn't even like necessary. In fact, we're so close on basically all of them hitting the 200% attack speed bonus that it's pretty much just a matter of, I don't know. It's like tiny amounts of points here or there. We're at 86% with pool 1, and we're at 88% with pool 2, which means that we're sitting at a total of what, 170% or something like that. It's not going to quite be 200%, but it's close. I mean, it looks like we also need to stack block chance.
Need more time.
I mean, capping out pool 1 is easy. I could potentially I don't even think I have, yeah, I don't even have the Andariel's fully masterworked, so there's going to be some more attack speed that can be gotten there. Hmm. If we don't use Ebiwaka, then I don't really think we need to use Shroud. Like, as good as Shroud is, I think once you lose all the tags, I think it becomes less powerful. Which means we could go with other aspects there.
Not ready yet.
Probably just go with a legendary armor, or maybe like Soul Brand or something like that. I don't know. I mean, we do get the Mystic Circle, which is nice. We could potentially use... I mean, we could also grab basic skills damage reduction, which is just a generic... No poll today? Oh man, thanks for reminding me. That is not a word. Boom. There you go. A poll. I hope you're happy what you've done.
No other people
I think we want the critical strike damage from the bugged aspect, right? That's what we want.
I mean, if you're gonna scale that to the moon, yeah, the noxious.
I mean, we want critical strike damage. We want, if we're going to go with Noxus Fist, we want as much critical strike damage as we can get, and we want block chance too. So I think that's the path we take. Which what is it called? Interdiction.
Yep.
Interdiction. Diction. What kind of dick? Addiction. An interdiction. Don't judge about these addictions. They're interdictions. Man, my freaking legendary items are so garbage. I look in here for an item and I'm like, oh yeah, that's crap. Oh, yep, that's crap. Oh, yep, that's crap. Crap, 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 crappy, crap, crap, crappy, crappy, crap, 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 crappy, crap, crappy, 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 crap. Crappy, 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 crap, crap, crappy, crap, 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 crap. It's true though. I need another pair of pants. I need pants.
Pantalones?
Pantalones. I guess I just take these ones with the centipede and just roll off the lightning resistance. It won't have a greater affix on it, but at least it'll have the right stats. gonna destroy these. They turned out terrible anyway. You
How
can
many
go.
ovals do you have? Gamba some panas?
I could try and gamble some pantaloons. Ring still has tempers on it. It's not a bad ring. I could work with that ring. That's not a bad ring. This one has no tempers on it. Oh, that's the quarterstaff anyway. Put that back in the stash.
I should have waited to run these actually to the patch, but so far away.
What are they set up for? Mystic Circle potency and Scourge size. Stinger size. Good luck re-rolling this stuff to see if I can get what I actually want. Things are right in the universe once more? Oh, man. Resource cost reduction. Why did I do resource cost reduction? There's really not a lot in the utility tree that's good for, like, the way that a basic skill character works. I mean, I guess you can go with cooldown reduction. Counterattack charges seems kind of fun, but counterattack doesn't respond with poison damage. It responds with fire damage, right?
Well, it gives you crit damage, which is what you're scaling.
You take care now.
Isn't it just like a passive effect?
It's a passive effect of it.
Yeah.
Gives you dodge.
You look like you've seen battle.
You look like you've seen battle. Battle. I mean, we could go with the Hunter cooldown reduction, which I think would be really useful to maintain the +4. That way I'd have the +4 constantly. Like, I think that's probably one of the best things I could grab. Yeah. 16.5% Hunter cooldown reduction. What do you know? Okay, and then utility-wise, we can get Withering Fist size. I think that's pretty much what we're looking for. These gloves have 4 tempers left. Let's see if I can get lucky. Stay up all night to get lucky. Stay up all night to get lucky. Stay up all night to please lucky. Of course not. Of course not. I don't know what they did, but I swear they made it worse. I don't know. Like, I don't really know, but it feels like they made it worse. I don't know how they made it worse, but they did. They made it worse. Like, now it's to the point where it feels like the thing is, like, actively trying to avoid what you're looking for. Like, it goes out of its way to not get the thing that you want. It's like, oh, that's what you want? Oh, yes. Well, that's why we're not giving it to you, because that's what you want. It's like reading my mind somehow. It's like stretch into your brain. I need another ring. I need another ring. I need another ring. A ring, rang-a-ling. It's the rang-a-lang-a-dang. That'll work just fine. It's got damage over time. Greater affix on the strength, or dexterity. And it's got lucky hit chance, which...
Come in, I
I think, like, I don't know if stacking lucky hit chance is important, but since we are using Andariels, like, I don't know, I guess having lucky hit certainly doesn't hurt.
Does not hurt.
Does not hurt. Come on, Mystic Circle potency. Come on, Mystic Circle potency. Not Jaguar damage. Come on, Mystic Circle potency. 11%. It's better than nothing. At least I can get the build set up with it. Then again, I think we go with the Hunter cooldown. Nice. 19.5% Hunter cooldown. That will work beautifully. Alright, let's go get the aspects set up. Alright, so I think we're doing Jaguar on the amulet. Because it's a more generic, and I think the Jaguar one actually applies to... I don't know if it does, but I know that Moonrise doesn't apply to Andariel's poison. Which is a thing. Right, and then we want rapid. And then for the gloves, what were we? Moonrise. Yeah, Moonrise, all the gloves. Okay. Duelist on the boots. And then I don't think we decided what goes on the pants. I think I'm kind of messed up here though, because if I want the critical strike damage, I gotta drop one of these other aspects. I guess adaptability is the one that gets dropped. It's only the 80% basic. Because if I want to utilize interdiction, I also have to have redirected force, right?
Yeah, that's the combo.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no real point.
So I drop adaptability. It seems like the only real option there, because I'm definitely keeping Moonrise, because that's my attack speed. Moonrise has a 80% multiplier too, but it also comes with attack speed bonus, where adaptability doesn't. Definitely not dropping the plane's power, and I need the rapid to gain the attack speed in pool number 2. So yeah, that's pretty much done all she wrote on that. And then we got the pants aspect, which I just never really decided on what to put in the pants aspect slot.
They're just gonna follow you around and execute everything you're poisoning.
Pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, either I use the Mystic Circle poisoning. I mean, the Mystic Circle poisoning does seem like a good idea, just from the fact that I can, you know, I can obviously utilize that poisoning in my other effects. I could also go with Hectic Aspect, which may prove to be stronger. I don't know. Because with the Hectic Aspect, at least I'm getting cooldown reduction for all of my skills that I can then spam. And I'm going to be spamming the crap out of some basic skills, so having that in the mix, it doesn't sound like a terrible idea. Especially since I'm not going like Prodigy's Tempo or anything to get like the free cooldown reductions. Alright. I mean, the build is together-ish. I guess let's see how it does.
Together-ish.
Good materials here.
Happy together. Ba-da-ba-ba.
Maximum resolve is increased by 2. Or ferocity. I mean, gaining 1 more ferocity stack or gaining 2 more resolve stacks, either one is both nice.
Yep, they're both a nice thing. One helps you generate. You don't have to solely rely on Hunter to be a max.
Yeah. Let's get the skill tree actually appropriately designed. Alright, refund them. So now that we got a better idea of what we're doing, cap Withering Fist, cap follow through, cap Apex. I don't think we've solved our vulnerable problem, so we might be using Soar for vulnerable.
It's pretty good for vulnerable. It has that AoE that lasts extra time too.
Am I going to play D2R in Season 9? Yes, I definitely am. Has there been an announcement on the D2 Season 9 launch date? I haven't been keeping up. There has not. Yes, there has not been a announcement yet, according to what I can see here. So no planned thing. But yeah, when Season 9 happens, I'm definitely going to be there. You can count on it.
Yeah, is water wet?
Yeah, is water wet? Well, actually, water is not wet, okay?
A Yingyao Gaming Mentor not playing a D2R season. You might as well just shut down the channel then.
Yeah,
Right
we might as well just shut down the channel if that doesn't happen, so. Yinger Gaming Mentor doesn't play the game? What is this madness? Does Yinger Gaming Mentor not know? Di Bangolio? Bangolio. Trying to think whether I actually want to cap out Touch of Death or not. I mean, I'm not building into Touch of Death, but it does do more. It does do more poisoning damage when you stack it, though.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's what I. That's the one I found the best in my testing.
That's what I was gonna dump.
I do so much damage. So much damage.
Dommage. So much dommage.
So much damage.
How's my bar looking right now? We got... Let's assign these so we can see what our bar looks like. Touch of Death goes in the right click so we can spam. We've got Scourge and Counterattack, which still leaves us with one additional Doojank.
That aspect that gives you a multiply for every basis skill you've casted recently,
Hmm.
Can you get it up to 4 stacks and then use one basic skill only to keep it at 4? Like, keep refreshing it?
No, I tested it. It kind of like what it does is it counts for each basic skill you use. So all you really have to do is you just have to like tap them once every certain number of seconds, but you don't have to like keep attacking with them or anything. But you can just like you can go like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can just keep attacking with Withering Fist. I do think that one could be an interesting choice though because of the way that the multiplier works. Because it's a generic, yeah, it's a generic
Need more time.
multiplier
That's
that
high
would
damage.
and it would apply to Antarials.
That's the craziest multiplier besides the Mystic
Need
Circle
more
Jaguar
time.
thing. Because if you put that on a two-hander, let's say, and then you actually, well, no, because you can't do Kepaleki. Because I was going to get you another basic skill. You could get like 5 basic skills or more. Technically, you could have 6 basic skills on your bar if you really wanted to.
Well, you can also get the basic skill damage from the Thunder Spike just by having it with the evasion. So every time you evade, it counts. I checked that one out myself, but the problem with that one is you actually have to have it on the bar.
Yeah.
But it does work every time you evade, so it'll just re-trigger the effect. I need some sockets. I need some sockets, precious. Some sockets.
You sound like
Not
Doran.
I need some sockets, precious. So I can put my gold and jewels and gems.
We'll need some
Take off the ring, father.
You ever seen anybody attack this fast?
It's pretty fast, man. What are you calling that character? The Flash?
I'm not even capped out. I can go faster.
Need more time.
160 with the other bonus, and then the basics one's not even showing on the bar. So 60, 70, 80, 90. So I'm at 190.
Need more time.
I wonder if there's a spot, like a specific spot to stand to have all the Withering Fist explosions hit the same target. Like, does that one that goes far hit or not?
Unfortunately, I don't think you can, Steve. You're pretty much stuck at attacking the target. Like it won't even let me like
Back up, yeah.
when I tried to back up, it kept dashing to the target.
Yeah, so you can't even like hold shift or anything. And keep
Well,
the
there we
distance.
go. Like if I stand far enough away.
I think that, yeah, I think you can hit with all 3 if you have the perfect pixel. That looks interesting.
I'm not ready.
Looks like all 3 are hitting for sure. Like they're overlapping on them. Sort of it's easier on bigger targets too, like the boss target and stuff.
Let's see how it looks when I have multiple training dummies.
Need more time.
Not really sure about the damage numbers, but actually I'm forgetting that with Noxious Fist, the poison isn't stacking, right?
Yeah, you don't have to.
So I'm not. You're not seeing the poison stack. That's the
Explosion.
problem, right?
Yeah.
So let me
That's not hating
pull.
explosion.
Let me pull the Noxious Resonance real quick just to see how high the poison stacks. Because you don't get to see the poison stacking if you're utilizing.
Need more vigor.
I guess he keeps pulling it off for like basic explosion damage.
Yeah. I mean, it's stacking really nicely. Like, I'm saying at least like in the millions. It looks like it went up to like 900K there for a second.
I see that.
I don't have enough vigor. Not ready yet.
Hmm.
You have any glyphs on that character? Like, what's that character's situation?
Oh, the Paragon board is filled out, but it's probably not for this character, so like that needs to be changed. Mystic Circle potency is on there, but like I'm not missing the. I probably would want the crit damage multiplier. Hmm. Yeah, I just don't feel like he's set up properly for what we're trying to achieve. Canny might be a good choice. Fitness could be a good choice, maybe. Yeah, there's definitely some changing here we could do. I mean, we've got Headhunter, we've got Colossal, and Ritual. We're also using Bane. The only one that really doesn't belong is Consumption. That's the one that's not giving particularly high amounts of anything anymore because we're not going into the Pestilence Swarms. I do have Viscous Shield. I feel like I should probably just reset the whole board. I'm also not making the enemy vulnerable. That's the thing. So I'm missing out on the vulnerable damage multiplier right now.
Not ready yet.
I was gonna ask you how you're doing that because for my poison character, I use the Frost Nova rune because it also gives a CC, an additional CC as well for creeping death and vulnerable status, like permanent, basically. You could use a rune to solve it, or you have to put a skill on your bar.
I mean, I do kind of like Soar's like permanent vulnerability that it creates. And
Yeah.
I don't know if we necessarily need Scourge. I think we could probably swap Scourge for Soar. Not a bad choice, not bad. Does Vortex make them vulnerable? It does not.
I need more vigor. Not ready yet.
That's like a stinger. Yeah, like it's pretty hard for poison to get vulnerable status.
Need more time.
I guess I mean really it's outside of Eagle scope, right? There's nothing else that applies vulnerable besides Eagle stuff, right? And stinger.
I mean, I could actually reset frickin' like Soar pretty quickly. It's kind of insane. That was a 13.2 million there.
Not ready yet. Not ready yet. I don't have enough vigor.
missing 2 of my gems.
I need more time.
This is what you asked for.
Not ready.
I mean, I'm missing out on a lot of critical strike damage because the dummies aren't attacking me, so let's make them attack me. That way I'll start getting the blocks, the critical strike damage bonus from that as well.
Not ready.
42.9 million, 46.7 million.
I need more time. Need more time.
I mean, that's definitely changed things. Just simply going down that road, like, obviously them attacking back makes a difference.
Need more time.
Dodge death again.
Alright, so what do we want for our runes? Perfecting all the builds? Just playing around with all the different builds you can make. I mean, I threw a new character in my lap. And I was just like, you might as well just, like if somebody was a book nerd and they loved Lord of the Rings, you might as well have just, like, walked up to them and thrown, like, the entire trilogy in their lap, like all the Hobbit book, like the Silmarillion, the Unfinished Tales, the Children of Hurin, and, like, everything else that Lotro that frickin' Tolkien ever wrote, like, in their lap at one time. I mean, that's basically what they did. Right? I love making builds, and they just, like, threw the Spiritborn at me, and they're like, here, make some builds. I'm like, okay.
Gonna be the same thing when the paladin comes.
When the paladin comes, you can meet your fellow paladin in the paladin. I might be exclusively playing paladin when they release paladin, by the way.
Yeah. Kind of hope it has auras, man. I want to see some of what do you call it, fanaticism, that kind of stuff.
If they don't put auras into it, then they don't understand. Like, I feel like if they don't put auras, they don't understand what makes the paladin tick. It's just it's such a simple thing to understand, is that, like, you know, the paladin in general is just an extremely aura-based, like a group-based character, and I think with the Crusader, what they tried to do was they tried to strip the auras out of it, because, you know, they were like, you know, we don't need auras because, you know, the paladin can totally have an identity without auras. And you know what the answer to that question was? No, the paladin does not have any identity without auras. The paladin needs auras to have his identity properly displayed. Without auras, they might as well not even exist. They took away 2/3 of the character and then tried to make a character based on the remaining 2/3, and it was a very poor attempt, in my opinion, to try and make a character work. Did I just give you permission to throw books at nerds? I mean, if they like the book, and as long as you're not, like, aiming for deadly spots, they'd be like, ow, that hurt, but wow, familiar, huh? Why, thank you. I do enjoy the Silmarillion.
They didn't give Serpent any channeled skills, huh?
You know, no channeling skills whatsoever. Think maybe they finally realized that people don't like channeling skills?
Yeah, I guess it's hard to have a channeling skill in a class that just, like, dashes to every target.
Mm-hmm. 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 Boom, 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 beep, ba, doo, da, doo, da, dee. Your butt stinks and looks real ugly. That's right, I said it. Somebody had to say it.
Tastes just like raisins.
Hmm. Dance of Knives is a channeled skill? I guess. I'm trying to
Sir,
figure out
Dance
what I
of Knives
want to
is
do.
on Rogue, sir. It's on Rogue.
Yeah, and that's on Rogue. So, yeah. Again, you're silly. Silly Willy Willy. Ha ha ha. Why do you be so silly? Alright, let's do a little bit of refinement.
A certain power moves about you.
Okay, so first off, we need to reroll this 75% lightning resistance. Hopefully to +3 Withering Fist. The fact, oh, there we go. Hey, look at that. It's magical. We got it, boys. I can't believe it. I don't believe it. +3 Scourge is no longer needed, so we could reroll this off. And probably just armor or maximum life. Either one. So that we don't have to have so much armor equipment. And there's a 525 max life. Let's go get my other grand skull. The grandest of skulls. The skull is so grand. The skull so grand it takes in hand the things it needs, my friend. No grand skulls? No grand skulls. Let's just craft one then. We're rich anyway. Alright, we gotta redo the board. The Paragon board. And then we'll get like... Then we'll finally be finished here. Let's just refund the whole board. Feels like a day or two ago when the expansion drops. That's right. We're still in like day 2 of the expansion, Atlantis.
We're in hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, hyperbolic time chamber. We get to play the game as much as we want.
One day here is 1 year in the real world. I'd be in that Dujink all the time if I had one of those. Training up.
All the time. You ain't a saying. We gonna die.
Actually, I think I said that the opposite. It's the opposite, right? It's like 1 year and there's 1 day in the real world. It's not, but that's that way.
Yeah. You go in for, like a year in there. You get older.
I come out though, and it's just tomorrow.
Yeah, but everybody else stays the same age. So you just start getting older and older and older. It'd be fun though. Like instead of taking days off work, you could just be like, "All right, I'm
Take a
going to
year
play
off.
the new Skyrim or whatever," right? And you just like you're in there for like an hour, and like you've completely mastered Skyrim. You come out and you've got like just everything. You got like videos
Yeah.
made. You know all the secrets, the glitches. Mm-hmm. 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 Lightning resistance nodes are for me. Critical strike damage. Strike, strike, strike. Critical, critical, critical strike. Strike, strike, strike. Critical, critical strike. Mm, 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 mm. Which one is the critical strike damage? No. Yeah, spirit. That's the one I want. Hmm. I'll wait for node placement. It's easier to figure that out later. Once you can take a look at all the bonuses. I think we definitely want Infighter for the increased attack speed and the multipliers. I think that's just like no-brainer. Yes, please.
The chest.
This is dodge chance and armor. We don't really need dodge chance and armor. Let's do this. We need block chance more than we need dodge chance. Need that resistance to all elements over there. So we don't need like 1,000,000,000% resistances to cap out everything. Taking the fire res node too. Gimme. Gimme, 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 gimme. Oh, gimme, gimme. I think we still do sapping, don't we? Because we're gorilla. We're also we're jaguar and centipede, so we have 2. And then we have armored hide, so that's 3. Only thing we're missing is an eagle skill. You don't actually have to cast all of them, do you, for sapping? Like, you just have to cast one of them 3 times in a row?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, so I think sapping is like a no-brainer, too. That was super good. Then we get all these attack speed nodes. There's another resistance node up here. Go ahead and grab that. I like resistance nodes. Two, 3, so we get one more. Barrier generation and critical strike damage. We need both of those. Alright, let's go. And then, what do we want next? It's halfway considering going with bitter medicine, but I don't think bitter medicine works properly, does it?
I think it's bugged. Be nice if it was another one that we could choose.
I don't understand why it's not poison damage. Isn't it like based around the entire poison tree?
The healing, you would think, but
No, you were right. 1 year, it's like 10 years out here. 1 minute. What?
I got confused.
Let's look up the hyperbolic time chamber. Yeah, 1 year inside the chamber is equal to 1 day outside the chamber. So yes, you would age at a faster rate than everyone else. It basically allows you to complete, like, training, like a year's worth of training in like a day's time. It's, you know, it's a lot, right? But like at the same time though, even if you go in there, you know, for a year and then you come out, and it's only a day has passed, you're still a year older. When Vegeta and Trunks came out, remember Vegeta had like a full beard? If I remember correctly, like didn't he have like a full beard when he came out of the time chamber?
Go on, like age like 10 years, you know. That guy had a growth spurt there in that saga.
Goku and Vegeta grow beards. Time chamber Vegeta. Where's that now? In a picture. I clicked on it because there was a picture. Now where's the picture, you punks? That is just rude behavior is what that is. Open image in new tab. There you go. There's Vegeta with the beard. Beard Vegeta. I mean, it would certainly be useful to play like video games and stuff. Like you could just. Can you imagine how many videos I could get done in there? Like I just, like, all right, launch day, guys. I'll see you in an hour, and then I just go into the hyperbolic time chamber, and I come out with like scraggly hair and like big giant beard, and like, and then, like all of a sudden I upload like 50, 60 videos straight to the website. Tell everybody all the secrets. Be like, okay, I got it all, guys. All right, what you want to do is you want to take advantage of Viscous Shield.
Game's been out 1 day. Well, for me.
For me, let's just say I've been playing a little bit different game than you guys. Convergence has a bunch of non-physical damage on it. I feel like the last one, like Drive, is like meh, like it's okay, I guess. Revealing is like it's all right. I mean, okay, it's like meh. It's not really like too amazing or too great. I mean, you get a free knockdown and then you get like a multiplier for crowd-controlled enemies, but it doesn't apply to bosses unless they're staggered. Bitter Medicine doesn't really work right. I don't know what's going on with Bitter Medicine. Spiny Skin is specifically for Thorns builds. I feel like it's pretty much down to Convergence, which is the only one that like has. It's got like a bunch of resistance nodes and like non-physical damage, and it's got some attack speed on there. I don't even know if Convergence works properly either. Like I feel like I'm just not sure. Like, does it work? I don't know. Okay, shush. We don't know answers to these questions. Stop asking them.
We don't know if anything's working. We know stuff's not working right, but we don't know if anything's working right either.
There's some more attack speed on this board, which is nice. Non-physical damage, a bunch of resistances. Okay, let's take a look real quick at where we're actually placing these glyphs, and then we'll go from there. I believe I put all the stuff in the Season 4 chat. For like which glyphs had the most amount of strength, dex, etc. next to them. So I'm definitely going to be using the intelligence glyph, which is the ritual glyph. So out of the ones that I picked, which one has the best intelligence? Infighter is 64, so that's a strong contender. Sapping is 69, which I also chose sapping. I think 69 is the most intelligence you can get out of any of them. And ritual needs to be built as much as possible, so that's going on the sapping board. Then we're also going to be using the spirit glyph, which is dexterity. I think we actually want to stack that one. I mean, honestly, like, most of the boards are pretty good for that. If not all of them. I mean, the base board is really good for dexterity, too. I'm pretty sure the base board has, like... Doesn't it easily have, like, 110 dex on it, base? Like 5,
Yeah, I think there's
10,
only
15.
one board that has any more than 110 decks. I forget what board it is. It's not one that I really use frequently.
Looks like, yeah, looks like the base board is 110 dex, like no matter what. So, I mean, that's easy. We could put the Wrath in the base board, or the Spirit in the base board. We definitely need Bane, and Bane is a strength option. Convergence, which is the board that I took because there's no other better boards, has 74 strength, which I think is like the best strength board out there. And we definitely would like increased poison damage. So that makes sense. And that leaves us with 2 boards. Pit Fighter and ours are just 1 board. Yeah, no, 2 boards. Pit Fighter and Viscous Shield. Viscous Shield is only dex. That's the only thing that it's good for. So that pretty much puts Headhunter there. I don't even think there's a choice at that point. And the last board, which is Infighter, is Intelligence and Dex. Now, Colossal doesn't need to be scaled, so that's fine. Because I'm not even using the Gorilla tag, I'm just getting the Resolve multiplier. So... now we just need to activate them. And then we can go tier them up. See how well the character rolls. So, Headhunter needs Dex. Already got 27, 28. That's... alright, that's activated. This one needs 25 strength. 22. It's actually too much, isn't it? Colossal also needs strength. Looks like we can grab that one. This one needs more dexterity. Done. Ritual needs all the intelligence in the world. I say we might as well. Ritual needs to be capped out, so we might as well just grab all the intelligence nearby. Looks like 2 there. That one definitely. That's the only one that's like way out in nowhere that's hard to get access to. Okay, everything's activated. Double check. Spirit is activated, yes. Headhunter's activated. Colossal's activated. Ritual's activated. And Bane is activated. What does that put us on? 998 armor. It's not enough. I'm only in Torment 4 or 3. I gotta go up one more Torment. It's gonna drop. At least we can go play around with stuff. Let's do a Nightmare Dungeons first before we do anything. See if you can at least handle a Nightmare Dungeon before we start diving into pits. Yay, one of the good Nightmare Dungeons. Boo, all the bad Nightmare Dungeons. All the bad.
I don't like this place.
More vigor. Not ready yet. Not ready.
Well, at the very least, this is a perfectly capable Torment 3 build.
We need more time.
Dude, this Noxious Resonance thing is kind of nuts.
The thing is, as soon as you can do Torment 3, all that means is you have to just upgrade your glyphs and like upgrade Masterwork your gear. Like you just have to do the end game activity to dominate Torment 4. That's all it takes, is just like the finishing touches.
Ooh, I found a treasure
Need
room
more
key.
time.
Oh, I don't even have my last 5 points spent. What was I gonna put those in? I forgot.
Back pocket.
In my back pocket. Yeah. Oh, I was thinking about capping out Touch of Death. I mean, I guess I could put 2 more into Anti-Venom. I could also put 3 into Diminishments. I was thinking about more in Touch of Death. I mean, having more poison damage isn't a bad thing, like in any way, shape, or form. I can even throw 1 in Vehemence.
Need more time. I'm out of vigor. Not ready yet.
Crap, the Vigor cost on Touch of Death is stupid. 70 Vigor cost. It's like insane. I can only cast it 1 time before I go back to Withering Fist. It's kind of abruptly. I don't even know how to explain it. It just feels weird not to be able to cast ability at least like 2 times in a row.
Need more time. Not ready yet. Not ready yet. Need more time.